Okay, guys. So today you're gonna get the um, sort of a prepping and a sort of a mixed review thing. Okay, so I want to try to make this video 20 minutes or less, really, because I know some people will be coming over from they're interested in barefoot shoes. So I want to make this thing less, 20 minutes or less. Now tomorrow I'm going to put up a full uh, doomsday prepping end of the world video. Uh, so keep that in mind. Watch that tomorrow, and then at the first year, I'm going to put up a New Year's video too. So I got a lot of videos planned, and I'm not going to back out this time. Well, really, it's never about backing out. It's just more or less just busy. Um, but I want to talk about barefoot shoes. And what are barefoot shoes? Barefoot shoes basically means that you got nothing more than basically, well, got some stuff on the bottom of my sock there. But basically, you got nothing more than just the basic. Yes, I got a little bit of trash on the bottom of my tennis shoe I brought in. But anyway, yeah, basically it means you got nothing more than just a sock. You got nothing more than basically just a sock on your foot and a piece of rubber that just protects your foot, and just a little bit of padding right there to protect your foot from really hard surfaces. Okay, but you don't have much there. Believe me, you can pretty much put those socks on and walk outside, and it'd be about the same as you walking in a pair of barefoot shoes. They don't have nothing. Um, but here's the deal, though. Let's talk about how this comes into the prepping world too, real quick. And I just want to say a few words on that. I was watching Cody Lundeen, and Cody Lundeen was talking about. If you don't know who Cody Lundeen is, he used to be a big star on something called Dual Survivor, and Cody said that the reason why he walks around barefoot, he's got a couple of reasons, but one of the main reasons is he said, excuse me, that eventually that's what it will come to whenever society collapses. And if you kind of think about that kind of could be true, like, or there'll be times when it'll be sort of true, like. So I'm gonna talk about that also. But what he says is that eventually it will come to that, is that you will eventually get to the point where you're just wearing barefoot shoes and you may run around barefoot without a choice. And well, eventually, I mean, you could kill if you killed enough animals or something like that. You can get enough hide, enough hide, or you can get enough leather or something like that. You can make something that can wrap around your foot so to protect your feet from the elements, the cold, and different type things. And you could also make like wool lined boots and stuff like that, just enough to protect your feet from getting cut from all sharp stones and stuff like that. But really, if it come down to it, for a long period of time, your foot you will not be able to have boots and shoes forever, because eventually the sole's going to wear out, the laces are going to wear out, the threads are going to wear out, get bare, worn, many different things. My dog has done a number on my couch. But anyway, this is something called barefoot shoes, and I'm going to show you basically what barefoot shoes are. This is a kind of a cheaper pair. This is called Wittens. But I'm going to show you also something called a zero drop shoe. And they take a little bit of getting used to. You can see they just got a lot of give. They got a lot of bend. That's not for me being extra strong. That's just how these things are. They got a lot of flexibility. They literally they can just roll right up to nothing. You feel, everything. The only thing that's between you basically and the ground is just this piece of rubber. They don't have nothing but a thin insole, and that insole, it's as flat as a fritter. It's got just a thin insole in it. don't know if I could actually take this insole out, which I wouldn't want to anyway. But anyway, it's just a thin insole, and you feel everything. I mean, literally, if it's a stick, if it's a stone, I step on stones on my heel and under my feet, and it's a big rock or something, I feel all that. But let me tell you what got me into doing this. I, if you've watched my channel for a period of time, you know that I hurt my foot about over a year ago now. I hurt my foot real bad, real bad. I got hurt real bad. I went down some steps, and I mean, I got hurt bad. It was like slick, and I just went toes first, straight down on the concrete, and it just bam, just nailed my toes, jammed all my toes, twisted my ankle, almost broke my ankle. Tore the planiest part, like the ball or the palm of my foot. It tore that part pretty good. Didn't tear it all the way loose, but the doctor said I'd survive. But it tore it up pretty good, and I had some pretty bad damage. That foot went down and it got twisted hard, and all my toes got jammed. And my foot just wasn't healing up. It just no matter what I did. I mean, the doctor said you'll be fine, everything will be great, and everything else, but it just was not healing up no matter what I did. So I didn't know exactly. He told me just keep going and just keep walking on it and get used to it again. He said you're just going to take time. He said just do it, and he said just get better. He said just get better. Well, over a period of about like 6-7 months, about 8 months, it wasn't getting better. Man, it was not getting any better. It was like my foot isn't getting any better. So I looked online and I said, well, what is a good possible thing to cure my foot? What can I have that will cure my foot? Well, actually, I kind of looked online about what can cure my foot, but I've noticed that whenever I was walking around, excuse me. I noticed when I was walking around, I had my foot felt better, and I was able to walk better and everything else. The longer that I walked in my socks and barefoot. So I looked up to see if anybody's actually walking barefoot, and it just made my foot feel so much better walking barefoot. So I found these things called Barefoot shoes. And this brand here, like I said, it's called Witten's, W-H-I-T. We can get that on camera. W-H-I-T-I-N, Witten's. And basically this is a pair you order off Amazon. It's basically a Chinese pair. Then they got other brands. They got Vivo Barefoot, and they got all this and that. And some people give these things a hard time because they're made in China. But some of their other big brands made in China too, so they might as well shut up. But you can buy a pair like this about $43 online, and but the only thing about them is they don't look so they don't look so I mean, they look like a shoe. They look perfectly great on your feet. Look like a pair of old, basically Converses, but they are just really comfortable after a while. It just takes a little time for your foot to get used to that movement and that bending, and then eventually your toes will splay out. You can make your toes kind of splay out more, and it gets more used to it. And you'll walk. The idea is that you kind of walk in a way that it won't hurt you anymore. And that's what I did. I started being able to walk. I started walking in a way that wouldn't hurt me anymore. And I was feeling everything, and I was feeling how my foot was doing. And then it was this foot right here. It was this foot right here. And what I was doing was, I was actually kind of like leaning my foot. I was kind of like leaning my foot to this outer edge from where I got hurt, because I got hurt on my big toe area here. But I was leaning my foot over like that. And I was walking on this part of my foot, and I didn't know it. And this part here, I was still babying it. I didn't know that I wasn't putting no pressure here. So doing that was putting a lot of pressure on that outer heel, on that out part of that outer heel right here. So I was not putting no pressure here, putting a lot of pressure on the outer heel, and putting all my pressure and weight right there. And my foot was being walked at a cannon like that. And I didn't even know it, because I hadn't got my step back right. It had been about 8 months, and nothing was right, and I just was not healing up. I said, what's going on? And then I started looking into this thing called the Barefoot shoe community. And before, when I had Achilles tendonitis, this was years ago, I had Achilles tendonitis. And with Achilles tendonitis, you really just don't want to actually make this heel drop down and put a lot of pressure on the bottom of that thing, okay? What do you got, Achilles tendonitis going on? But now, let me get to that in a second, about what happened with my Achilles tendonitis, because Achilles tendonitis can always come back to you. But I'm going to explain to you something about Achilles tendonitis, and I even talk about planus fibroma, which I had planus fibroma back about 2014. I had knots start popping up in the palm of my foot right here, in my ball of my foot. I had little bitty knots in the bottom of my foot. And I watched a video online how to take care of that, and I just basically just took a ball, I just rubbed it, and I put it down on the floor, and I just rubbed it really, really, really good in there, and I pulled my foot back here, and I just stretched my foot out. I mean, I just kind of worked my foot and just got up here and just massaged my foot real good, and that helped take care of that planus fibroma. And then as for the Achilles tendonitis, doctor told me to wear cowboy boots. And he said, and basically showed me a bunch of stretches, and my stepdad showed me the military stretches, and he told me the military stretches, so that really helped a lot. So with stretching it a lot, really helped get them ankles and get them heels better, because you got this main thing here, and it runs kind of clean down through here. This is your planus fibroma, this is your planus, and then it kind of goes up and around. It comes back up the back of your leg right there. So you got this main thing that runs from back up in here, and it goes all the way down and back underneath your heel right here. So a lot of people get something called planus fasciitis, which is another thing right here. But here's the deal though. What I found when I first started doing it, that planus fibroma, Achilles tendonitis was on this foot, my left foot. And what I found was the doctor told me that could always happen again, if I started overstraining or working it out. Well, when I first started doing that, when I first started wearing these, it started coming back. My planus fibroma, my Achilles tendonitis. But as I kept wearing it over a period of time, and I started having even planus fasciitis, which means that this area right here can get pain. Okay. But what I found over a period of time, my personal self. Now, I'm going to tell you an incident where my mom bought with some of these, and it didn't work out, but I'll tell you that in a minute. But in my personal experience, like I was having like knee pains and stuff like that too, but it was for me walking in a way that I shouldn't have been walking. These barefoot shoes have taught me how to walk again, like we'd learned to walk like we were a toddler, you see. So over a period of time, my foot has really gotten better by teaching myself how to walk better because of the barefoot shoes. See, I'm able to actually kind of like really feel the ground and everything else. And I'll tell you something else too about these. I can be on steps, and I know if that step is like right here, the edge of that step's right here, I'm going to feel it. The edge of that step's right there, I'm going to feel it. I can feel everywhere. And if there's a stick under my foot, I feel it. If there's a stone in my foot, I feel it. I pretty much feel everything underneath my feet. This is pretty much just nothing but just keeping your feet from getting cut. That's about basically it. They got what they call 2 millimeter. This is basically a 2 millimeter. They got a 5 millimeter, and I kind of prefer the 2 millimeter. But I'm going to show you something else here in a second, though. But really, these things also help your foot bend and everything else. Now I'm going to give you another example. Now this was my thing, and there was a company years ago that had said that I would fix all this thing, and you'll see these god awful ugly shoes. Well, they're not god awful. Don't get me wrong about them. They're great for somebody who's really into barefoot shoes, but basically they look like they got toes. And that shoe's made by a whole different company, and that company got sued hard years ago. So they stopped making all these big claims that barefoot shoes would fix all this and that problem. But if you think about it though, a lot of the foot problems we have today, and a lot of the issues we have today, has really come about since like the I think it was 70s, whenever Nike had come out with a tennis shoe. And thank God I'm not talking about the other subject this time. The at least I'm not talking about that subject this time. Um, but this should be just fine. This is more of a just a foot posture thing, so that should be good. But yeah, so anyway, if you think about it, back years ago, there was Nike. I think they said Nike started coming out with this high heel tennis shoe back in '73, make you run faster. And you start doing what's called heel stomping, heel stomping, heel stomping, heel stomping. Well, because we do all that heel stomping, well, with these you'll land kind of more like dead center, and you'll kind of like you'll kind of land a little more up to the front, and then you'll kind of let your foot you let your foot down, and then you'll push off at the heel, but you'll kind of land more even, flat-footed, and then kind of push off at the heel. So you'll get to a different walk. You won't do this heel stomping, because you go doing this heel stomping, buddy, you're going to get hurt. This is going to hurt pretty rough. And what I would recommend you do is don't wear these maybe a couple of days the first week, maybe then kind of work yourself up to 3 days the next week, then 4 days the next week, and now I'm just a full-time wearer, except when I got to go to work. If I'm off on the weekends or if I'm off all week long, man, I'm wearing these things everywhere I go, anywhere I go. Only time I don't wear these things is when I'm mowing the grass and when I go to work, because these things do feel every bit of cement. You have no padding there. You can imagine working on 8 hours of concrete with no padding. So you want padding on your feet, okay? So basically, I don't wear these to work, but they have helped my feet tremendously. I mean, so much better. Okay, but I'm going to show you a couple more options real quick. And this is just barefoot shoes, okay? Now, these don't look so good, right? These are just so heeled high tops, plain tennis shoes. They don't look so good. But now they got other options. Now those I bought, and then they just didn't look so good, and they kind of get wet during the winter, during the rainy season, and it's real wet. Let your feet get kind of wet some. So I found these. These are by a brand called Zero. These have held up pretty good. I like going and maybe getting on an exercise bike or something like that with these better. They also look like a real tennis shoe. I mean, look at that. It looks like a real tennis shoe, doesn't it? That's what it looks like, because that's what it is. It's a real tennis shoe. It's still a barefoot shoe, and they call it Zero because it means zero. Basically, it's a barefoot shoe. And they're really pretty comfortable. They're pretty comfortable. I wish I would have ordered a half size larger. I gotta admit that, but that's not the company's fault, which they recommend you do. I bought my exact size instead of half size larger like the company recommended. But that's on me. That's not on that company. But these shoes held up pretty good. They look good. I mean, and on top of that, if I'm going out to, let's say, some kind of an event or something like that, or let's say we got like a baseball stadium not too far from me anyway. So basically, if I'm going out to, like, let's say, baseball game or something like that, or I'm just going to go kind of like out somewhere doing something like that, then, basically I want to look pretty good, and I want to have something that looks like a tennis shoe. So Zeros. But I got to warn you though, this is more of a basic shoe. I can't remember which one they call this guy. It's more of a basic shoe. It doesn't have a name, I don't think. This is Zero shoe made in China. This is called Prio, the Prio. Now Prios, like, they can have them on sale. You can get them about $75. So that's on sale. These are regular about $90 shoes. They're pretty expensive. They're made in China too, but they are pretty comfortable. They look pretty good. And they still look like a tennis shoe. And you say, I want a tennis shoe. There's an advantage to these too. They also are a little thicker sole, so you don't feel as much under your foot. Believe me, you really don't feel as much under your foot as with these guys. And you also got a good amount of bend. And really, I kind of consider these more kind of closer to a zero drop compared to where my Wittens, because my Wittens are really, I mean, you feel it. Like, I've heard that that's the same way with Vivo Barefoot. I might do that with Vivo Barefoot when those Wittens wear out. I really like the looks of these, and that's the reason why I bought these. just for looks, just so I can have something that looks like a real tennis shoe, you know, in case I'm going out to, you know, event with the company or something like that. It don't look like I don't really, you know, that doesn't look like this, you know, these don't look bad. I am not ashamed to wear them anywhere I go, but at the same time, though, you know, you still kind of want to have that more of a look. And on top of that, if the grass is just a little bit damp outside, wet, but these, like I said, they will let your sock get a little wet maybe and stuff like that if it's a little too wet or something like that outside. But these right there do got that little bit of something there to protect you. And for you people that might say, well, I'm vegan, well, these are vegan friendly shoes. And those are vegan friendly shoes. They kind of, Zero always likes to say I'm vegan. So that's only my first pair of Zeros, and that's my very first pair of Wittens. So I can't really speak to which one's whatever. But I like the Wittens. I kind of like kicking them around, and I just do whatever I want to do on those things. And the bottoms, I've been wearing them about like 5 months now. And those bottoms, that heel, I mean, you can't really see that heel too great. Yeah, you can. Now you can. See that? They don't even have no wear on these things. The seams hadn't even busted around these things in the past like 5 months. I mean, these things have held up really great, and the seal is really good still too. But like I said, you see, like the material they're made out of canvas with the holes. They will kind of let some water kind of like seep in a little bit in there. But I got a cure for that. And this might be something that you want to kind of step over to before you go full barefoot. And this is something you can buy the more expensive one, or you can buy just the El Cheapos like I did. And these are, when it's raining outside, these are solid waterproof. And these are $23 online. So basically you're looking at, let's see, I got like about $150 worth of shoes here. And I bought these, let's say, within the past about 5 months, you know. I bought one, then I waited a while, and, you know, after kind of getting my feet wet a little bit, this and that, I said I'm going to need something else. So I bought these, and I bought these two at the same time. They're running a sale on these. I got these for $80. But they're regular like 92, but I got them for $80. Sometimes they put a coupon online. So I got these for 80. Then I paid 23 for these. And then I paid 43 for these. But these are the ones I kick all the time. But these are $23. And this is a brand called RYIKA. Yeah, you can buy these on Amazon, $23. And they're not actually a barefoot shoe. These are actually called zero drop shoes. But I gotta admit though, my feet are really like really just not wanting to feel those rocks, and just, I mean, my dogs seem to be really kind of hurting me a little bit. And I want that added padding a little bit. Sometimes it's nice to have zero drop, which means it's got this, basically what zero drop means is it's not exactly barefoot, but it's got the same even amount of padding all the way from the front to the back. It's got the same even amount of padding. You don't got no heel support. You got no arch support. You got no support whatsoever. It's about almost as barefoot as it comes, except these are zero drop. It means it just has some cushion. It's basically just a flat cushion in there. That's all it is. And these are waterproof too. Now the downfall to these is I found this back whenever it was hotter, warmer weather, and like the summertime. Like I put these things on back in like you know, around the summertime, like back in I think it was like August or something. You know, around July, August. I was putting these things on, and they get hot. They get way hot during the summertime. So there's a downfall to these. They get too hot during the summertime. So basically, if you're going to do something during the summer months, I'd pretty much say, you know, instead of, you don't want your feet to get wet, I'd pretty much say put on a pair of like Zeros or something like that. But these are really good for like wintertime. And on top of that, like I was wearing these, they're like when it was really cold outside one day, because we had a cold spell not too long back here in North Carolina, and it got real cold. And these things did not protect my feet from the cold. So basically, if I would have had a heavy pair of wool socks on or something like that, I'd been better off. But because it got so cold at that time, I mean, like, I think the high for that day was like 35 that one day, and then it was dropping down like in the teens, like 19, 18 degrees. So my feet got cold. And so basically, this is where these kind of come in, is like they got that padding, and that padding, and the fact they're also full, they're because the padding, it keeps you protected from the cold ground, and the fact that they are waterproof, it keeps your feet from getting wet. So your feet don't get wet, they stay warm, your feet don't get wet, everything else. And I'm going to tell you a little secret too, guys. These are, I think, are actually cheaper to order on Amazon. These are like $23 on Amazon. These are cheaper to order on Amazon. Don't order these from the company. The company's going to hit you with full price. These you can get like on Amazon, or you can get them like through a shoe company, and you get them like at a discounted price at zeros. But these right here, these right here, basically, you can basically order the exact same shoe. All right, and if you're willing to do it, and it's basically, it doesn't say Witten's on it, but basically I think the same company in China makes it. If you're willing to do it, you can basically get those same shoes through Temu. And my mama ordered her pair through Temu. And here's a quick story about the pair she ordered through Temu. And my mama does have this problem where a long time back, she was kind of out running, and she sort of like blew out her knees, and she was kind of like, well, she didn't blow them out, but her knees are just not been in shape. It took her like 6 months to recover with her knees and knee problem stuff. What it is, her knees doesn't have no ACL cartridge in there no more, hardly at all. And there's arthritis getting in her old knees. So my mama can't really, she needs some padding, right? So something like the Zero Drops with the padding worked better for her. And but she says she needs a lot of heel support. Now, I can't knock that, and I can't say that that's not true. I know whenever I first started wearing these, when I first started wearing my Wittens, when I first started actually doing this, I was actually messing with a pair of lake shoes to see how it worked for me. But these actually, to be honest with you, they don't give you, I mean, they don't give you much shock support in your knees and your hips and stuff like that. But what I found was that I would actually walk differently, because like I'd be like walking in different kind of angles and stuff. So I'd be like walking, like say when I was walking, I'd be kind of like walking with my foot kind of like over, so my knee would be out of alignment, my hip would be out of alignment. Even on this one, my knee would be kind of a little bit out of alignment, because I wasn't stepping flat-footed like I thought I was, because I was wearing, tennis shoes like these, and these are basically what I wear to work. These are my steel toes. I don't know which job I'm going to do that day, but basically I wear this and my steel toes. So basically, these are just plain old good old Skechers. There's nothing fancy to them. Goodyear bottom, it says right there on the thing. Just Goodyear bottoms, and it's just a pair of old Skechers, with some memory foam in them, and they're good for the pad, right? But they have that heel support right there, and that's what my mama kind of needs because of her old knees. Now, this stuff is not for everybody, and it does I can't tell you enough, guys. It does take some getting used to. But give it a try. You might like it. And like I said, you just have to order them from Amazon. You can order. I ordered the high tops. I think I ordered the high tops because they were like, I don't remember. Oh yeah, I ordered the high tops because we're actually worried about water. With the low tops. But actually, you can get the low tops in these for I think like 30-something bucks. But if you get on, like I said, Temu, I think they're like 27 bucks on Temu. So you can save yourself some money if you've already got a Temu account. But if you don't have a Temu account, I'd say don't go down that rabbit hole. My mom went down that rabbit hole, and then I've actually had to talk to her and kind of tell her, you guys stop doing Temu, mama, because it's not good for you. But like I said, and then like Cody said too, and I want to touch on this subject real quick, and then we're getting off here. But like Cody said, Ian, this is a pair of Ariats, and this is a pair of work boots too. And like he said, that eventually what will happen will that tennis shoes will basically come non-existence. And that's true. I mean, eventually the threads will wear out. Eventually, it doesn't matter how good the sole at the bottom of the sole is, it's going to wear out. And over a period of time, and where you're going to find more, you know. A lot of people say this and that disaster is going to happen, this and that, but you know, you can find a whole bunch of old worn out pair of tennis shoes, but eventually over a period of time, those tennis shoes will get worn out to the point where they're not going to be good to you anymore, you know. Uh, and then this, the normal recession, depression, stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But I gotta tell you though, that it's really, believe it or not, I've actually found it myself. It really is true. Get tennis shoes and have them on hand. But like I said, if you got a medical condition that you want to try the for whatever reason the barefoot shoes, go for it. If you know for whatever, just look into them, check into them, make sure they're right for you. I don't want to give you bad advice. They got some on there that's just like ugly, man. I mean, like $13, and they're ugly. They don't even look like a pair of tennis shoes. But if this is something you want to go with for health reasons, go for it. If, let's say, you kind of like don't believe the whole thing about, eventually you'll walk barefoot, so on and so forth, then don't do it. I'm not going to tell you to waste your money. I know we're just getting over Christmas. Things have been tight for everybody. Like buying this one pair of shoes is just like, hey. But like I said, you can give them a try, and you can also try out many shoes. There's some stuff they got on there. It's called lake shoes, water shoes, stuff like that. And they basically call them barefoot shoes. But a true pair of barefoot shoes looks like a pair of shoes, and they got a wider toe box too. I know something else I forgot to mention, and I got to get off. But you see how it's like thin, and then like it gets narrow right here. Well, right here, this place right here, because of the way a normal shoe is, if we look at it, how does this shoe do my foot? It's pointing my feet, my toes. It's taking my toes and pointing them in. It's making my toes, it's not letting my toes splay out like they should. It's pointing my toes in like this, right? It's making my toes kind of do like this, all right? That's not the normal way of my foot. My normal way of my foot, what's the normal way of my hand? That's the normal way of my hand, right? It's be open like that, right? Not like this. This isn't normal for my hand. This is normal for my hand. This right here, that's a normal way for my hand right there. All right, so this does have this, they call them kind of more looking like clown looking shoes, but as some people do, but they got that wider toe box. But that's so your toes can have that room to spread out. So if you got bunions too, these things can also help your bunions because they allow that room. And if you have bunions, you know what I'm talking about. You have that room right there for that toe to go out. And this right here can also help with like those calluses that like get on the big toe, like right there around your big toe, get the calluses. And you also get like the calluses, or you get your little toe kind of like folding, like your toe, little toe. What it do is it'll kind of fold or it'll kind of like fold under the next to the little toe. All right, so that can help a lot if you got toe issues, bunions. So just give it a thought, give it a try. Pick which brand's for you. There's many brands. There's all kinds of stuff. There's like I can tell you that Ultras and Limbs are basically two of the best in the zero drop community. Witness does have zero drops. Those really look like a pair of tennis shoes. And then let's say in the barefoot shoe community, you got basically on the lower end, you got like Witten's, you got a no name brand from China on Temu. Then you got some of those flake shoes, and they don't look good. And then you got other ones like then you got some of the more bigger name brands. You got like the Zeros, and then you got Vivo Barefoots, and there's other brands. I'm not going to sit here and name them all off. I can't off the top of my head. And I didn't want to make this video too long and ramble on for somebody who's actually just come by to take a quick review of a barefoot shoe. But anyway, guys, you take it easy. You be good. Maybe you got something from this that you like. Maybe you got something that you learn. Maybe you say, I'll try them. Maybe you won't. That's entirely up to you. But whatever you decide to do, know that you take it on yourself, and don't come back to me if you don't like them. And like I even tell my mama when she bought a pair of like cheapos from Temu, I was so happy because I already know from my experience, this isn't going to be for everybody. Not everybody's going to be happy with this, and you got some people that's kind of bigger, and they're going to put a lot of weight on the bottom of their feet, and then so you're really going to be putting a lot of weight on the bottom of your feet. Like I got a friend who's got bone issues. He said because he got diabetes and he had to have a splinter removed in about it wasn't a splinter, it was a bone that broke loose and it splintered off. So he's got like trading his bones and his feet aren't great. Now probably something like this, more like a zero drop shoe would be better for him because it's not going to have that constant heavy impact of no hit on a solid hit on cement like that. For every person it's different. So, and every person does have different medical conditions, and I'm not a doctor, okay? So I'm just saying what worked for me, and I'm just saying a holistic approach to helping heal your feet and overall health. Anyway, be good, get at it, take it easy, and see you on the other side, my friend.